Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another PSFK webinar. This week, we are going to talk about retail trends that are emanating from New York City. New York, arguably, and probably truthfully, is the capital city, the place to find the new ideas developing in retail. There is so much going on, whether it's in DTC retail, whether it's in startup technology, and everything in between. There's so much going on in retail. I asked my team with Lauren Lyons, who's with us today, to study the new stores that are developing, identify trends, and share those trends and stores with us. So welcome, Lauren. It's great to have you here.
Hi, Piers. Thank you. Great to be here. Excited to share what we have today. So yeah.
Yep, back another webinar full of great ideas around innovation in retail and along the customer experience journey. So take us through what the report that you developed.
Yeah, so today with this presentation, we're going to be walking through a total of 12 trends that we're seeing take shape within New York City's retail landscape. And each of those are supported by really great examples from retailers and brands across New York. And so along with these trends, we also outlined within the report these really great neighborhood guides to accompany our work as well, to kind of act as to-go excerpts for everybody if you want to put this to use when and if you are in the city. And really today I'm excited to be sharing just these 12 leading ideas. We see big themes to take away from today would be how retailers are shaping the brick and mortar scene. They're implementing new strategies. They are reformatting their physical footprints. They are aligning their stores with consumer expectations. And really those big ideas you'll see are engagement, service, flexibility. And so I think those will carry throughout.
Engagement, service, and flexibility. That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of trends there. There's a lot of new ideas being developed in the city. Let's go.
All right. So to kick us off, we have this concept we're calling community hubs for our first strategy. And community is really hot right now. We really love this concept. So thinking about this from the perspective of retailers hoping to create very meaningful relationships with their consumer, we're seeing them cultivate these community spaces within their retail locations and really recasting themselves as community hosts almost. And so by doing so, we're really seeing brands enable consumers to connect with each other, with brands in their neighborhood, with creatives in their neighborhoods. They're engaging in these very shared experiences. They're discovering products alongside like-minded shoppers, which is really powerful. And by doing all of this, we're seeing brands really appear as these go-to destinations for a reason other than simply just shopping right now, right? So an added benefit here to the retail space. And to support this idea, we are heading into Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn with this example, Seed Brooklyn. And so this is part retail destination, it's part community space, and it was created by Christoph Roberts. And in the store, you'll be able to experience everything from fashion to community, culture, art, all in one. And so with the thought process behind here, Roberts really wanted to create a space specifically for creatives within his local community in Bed-Stuy. And when you're visiting the store, customers are going to be able to access their coffee shop on site. They're able to browse 2 full floors of a rotating brand collection. They're able to view a gallery space of digital works and also just mingle amongst themselves as well. They wanted to really create a space for relaxing and dwelling. And just as like added perks for those in the neighborhood here, the store is also going to feature this shoe locker and washing machine service. It's a 24-hour turnaround sneaker cleaning for $30 a pair. So a fun little extra tie in there as well.
Super important, very on trend.
Yes, definitely.
So this other theme is really interesting, this idea of brandships kind of going beyond the flagship and centering the store around kind of showcasing brand identity and kind of allowing the shopper, the customer, to kind of immerse themselves into kind of brand related experiences.
Exactly. I really like this idea of brand ships, and we have a pretty cool example of this from Krewe. So now we're looking in meatpacking in Manhattan, and Krewe is a luxury eyewear brand, sunglasses and eyeglasses, and they've taken over this 4-floor townhouse in the meatpacking neighborhood, where they're really combining concepts around retail, hospitality, community, and design studio. And so on the ground level, you as a customer will be able to access the store itself, as well as a natural wine living room, as what they've dubbed it. And they've partnered with this bar and holiday to provide a tasting menu and bites. As you're shopping, a bartender actually moves to the space and invites you to come and partake in a tasting menu. So there's a really nice piece here as far as the customer experience, going beyond just that. On the top floors, the brand actually has its New York City headquarters. They have a satellite product design studio. It's a flexible event space, and then they have an adjoining guest quarters and a full service kitchen. A cool piece of this as well is they've taken over the basement to contain all of their fulfillment operations. So shortly, they'll be able to offer same-day delivery in New York City as well.
Yeah, so totally vertically integrated brand and store. I'm gonna need some of those glasses if I'm gonna do any daytime natural wine drinking as well. So,
no, they'll be handy.
Yeah.
So building on these themes, of community, hospitality, we really roll into this next strategy as well that we're calling hospitable environments. We really see New York City as a place that welcomes visitors and hospitality concepts that we're looking at growing at a growing desire for unique experiences. Modern wellness services are a big thing as well in New York right now. And so looking at everything from branded hospitality offerings to reinvented iconic hotels, we're seeing a lot of new hospitable environments popping up across the map that really point to this post-COVID recovery phase. And we're seeing it really complement trends in retail, such as sensorial reset, community hubs, local curation. So really, really enjoy this hospitality trend as well right now. And to support this, we just wanted to call out this great example from RH Guesthouse. So RH, previously known as Restoration Hardware, has opened its own hotel within New York. We're back in meatpacking neighborhood for this as well. And so within RH Guesthouse, guests are welcomed into a setting that is very private and luxurious. There's features like a no social media policy to protect privacy of guests at all times. The building has a private entrance. There's no lobby. No meetings or events are being held here. And along with 6 guest rooms that you were able to reserve, there are 3 suites. And then RH's CEO has a private residence here as well, which can be booked from time to time.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to work out which strategy came first, the CEO wanting to live in meatpacking, or the hotel, RH Hotel, and then they just happen to have a penthouse floor available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A wonderful experience.
But it's super interesting. Beautiful experience.
Here we have this next strategy that we're calling sensorial reset. And so here we're looking at, this booming wellness market that's taking place right now. And we're seeing how retailers are introducing consumers to services that really provide this reset mentality. They're acting as antidotes to contemporary lifestyles right now and kind of alleviating that day-to-day stress. And looking from, pared back, calming, welcoming designs, we're looking at innovative therapies, on-site wellness services even. We're really seeing brands offer these very restorative experiences that are making consumers, stop and immerse themselves within these spaces, right? Rather than just passing by. And so great example here from Clean Market. Clean Market's a holistic wellness center. They offer health and beauty products within their store. They've recently expanded to NoHo with new in-store offerings. So its previous location was a wellness cafe oriented spot. And this new location in NoHo, this opened over the summer of 2022. So in here, they've actually launched a lot of lab offerings. So this includes massages, IV therapies, they have nano and micro needling all on site. And so the lab is accompanied by a retail space as well. And so they're offering curated third-party product selections here. And that includes everything from, skincare, supplements, essential oils, and more. But having those, the wellness services right in store is an interesting and unique twist for New York retail right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting location. It's kind of opposite Kith, Kitty Corner
Yeah.
to Showfield. So there's a lot of the kind of hype and DTC brand experiences just next door as well. So a very interesting part of town for retail.
Definitely. There's a lot to wander into in that space. And so, so next we have our strategy we're calling purpose driven here. This is a big theme at retail at large, but we're definitely seeing it across New York spaces as well. And here we're looking at how retailers are creating these experiences that have sustainability or social causes really embedded into them. And so we know that consumers today are very value driven. We've seen this especially amongst, Gen Z millennials, if you want to break it down by generation. And so in response to that, we're seeing brands create these very mission-backed offerings. We're seeing how they are serving their communities at a local level beyond just pure retail offerings. And I think it's really interesting because we're also seeing, these community-first activations and events, these very purpose-led campaigns, and seeing how these stores can offer not just value, but engagement on a deeper level. So very much so enjoying this trend. And a great example of this is coming from Up West. So Up West is a clothing home goods brand, was initially digital first. They've since started opening a number of stores. They have a store opened in Soho. They're down on Spring Street in New York. And they are really dedicated to serving at a community level. That is a really big part of their ethos as a brand, even before they got into physical retail. So now that they do have physical outposts, they are taking very measured approach to partnering with local organizations. And so in New York, they have partnered with Grow New York City. And so working with Grow New York City, they have cultivated and planted a vegetable garden in New York. And so they've been kind of growing that partnership with Grow New York City to host volunteer days as well with their customers, which is cool because they're engaging them in that as well. And then just additional activations, I guess, that they've put together is partnering with yoga studios in Williamsburg for clothing donations and clothing drives. They have give back boxes within their physical locations as well for customers to take advantage of. But yeah, just kind of creating opportunities for customers to engage and volunteer with them is an interesting take here. So then moving right along, we're gonna move into some more tech-based strategies here as well. So here we have this idea called online to offline, and we're looking at how brands have already really tied their digital assets to physical products. We're seeing that more and more. And then we're looking at how in the New York City landscape of retail, we're seeing these very digital first brands go really all in on physical retail as well. They're exploring new locations and seeing how they can come to life in the physical world. And so looking at how retailers are bridging those two realms, right? Digital and online within physical spaces. We're interested in how they're acting kind of as these digital mediums, but also providing very physical, tangible products. To support this idea of online to offline, right? We're looking at Salvatore Ferragamo. So this is a very, traditional Italian heritage luxury brand. And we're really seeing them start to explore the more NFT Web3 space in an interesting way that we also see kind of providing value, right? Rather than just for show. And so within their New York boutique location, they are combining their latest sneaker drop with in-store NFT activations, right? So when you go into the store, you purchase their latest sneaker collection, you're actually going to be able to design and create your own NFT within the store to accompany that sneaker. So once you purchase the sneaker, of course, you get to access this NFT experience and take that with you as you wait for the sneaker to arrive. So there's a little bit of, engaging in the product dropped, gaining a digital asset in the process, and then having that asset with you when you leave the store, even though you can't access maybe that product right away. So an interesting way of kind of combining online and offline goods here. And so rolling around, we have this next strategy called collaborative retail. And so we're really looking at how retailers are recognizing the market challenge of today. We're seeing, power of partnerships, multi-brand collaborations are really emerging as this new solution when retailers are looking to elevate their own physical presence and also just, update consumer experiences as well. And so this idea of capitalizing on other brands, partner brands, strengths, retailers are creating these very curated in-store experiences. They're providing customers with more discovery opportunities, and they're supporting upcoming businesses as well by really amplifying these unique voices or perhaps smaller brands that complement one another.
That's great.
So we're looking at this really interesting example that's coming up this year. So looking ahead a little bit, but excited about this example from Kid Super. So it's slated to open in 2023. And so it's a fashion label, Kid Super, and they have taken over this 10,000 square foot multi-use complex off the Marcy Ave stop in Williamsburg. And so within the complex, the idea is going to be they'll have a retail store, a cafe, there'll be a gallery as well. This is going to be accompanied by a performance space, a painting studio, the brand's headquarters, a recording studio, and a soccer pitch on the roof. So this is really going to be a multi-use complex to the max. Like they're very much so thinking about how they can bring a lot of experiences into this space and serve a lot of different purposes. The cool collaborative part that's coming to life here is Kid Super has decided to really pursue a lot of branded sponsorships within the space. And so they're collaborating with brands like Jägermeister, as well as Creatively, which is a job search application for creatives. So they have a lot of these partnerships already lined up, and the plan is to rotate through them throughout the year and continuously update them.
Okay, so next we have this trend, this theme of local curation, and I like this. This is around retailers really kind of going in the micro level and reflecting kind of the neighborhood's vibes, the very local vibe of a kind of micro area, smaller area, and reflecting that with store design, targeted services, and also careful product curation. So it's very interesting what people are doing there, what retailers are doing.
Absolutely. And to support this, we're looking at Express and their new store concept they've rolled out across New York called Express Edit. So right now they have 2 locations of this concept. One is in Flatiron and one is in Soho. And They're looking at, capsule wardrobes, how those are kind of cropping back in. And so with Express Edit, they're trying to make it easier for consumers to really, coordinate and complete their wardrobe. But the bigger idea here and better theme with this idea of local curation, right? The concept stores feature very carefully curated assortments, and items are reflective of the style and character of their respective neighborhoods. So assortments match, who, and not to say vibes, but maybe vibes of the neighborhoods that they're located in, right?
I was trying to watch out. I was trying to understand what the vibes were for Flatiron.
Yeah.
But someone's done that research. Maybe it's just sitting in the park during the spring and looking at the art. Anyway, but very interesting to see what they're trying to do there with the Express Edit.
Exactly, definitely. So rolling along, we have this idea of educational sales floor. And so, despite online shopping's convenience, right, we're really seeing consumers increasingly getting back to physical stores for both product discovery as well as that hands-on experience. And those are really big drivers right now. We're seeing how retailers are leveraging that opportunity by integrating that expertise and educational content throughout their sales floor. And we're seeing that by delivering this very hyper-relevant, personalized experience, you're leaving consumers with this one-to-one service to remember you by, right? And retailers are really offering this extra value to their in-store experience as well, making it very unique. It can be exclusive to specific store locations. And this idea of kind of building these long-lasting relationships is really taking shape through this idea of education.
Yeah, I like this one. What example do we have?
So here we're looking at this wellness brand, Modern Age, and they're located in Flatiron as well. And within their store location, they have an entire studio team that is dedicated to helping consumers move through various in-store and online services. And so this includes treatments and products that have been curated by medical professionals. They address everything from aging wellness to skin categories and concerns to hair concerns and hair growth, hormones, bone health, even. So they're really taking the full scope of health in mind here. And those visiting the studio are able to schedule appointments beforehand. They're able to meet with medical professionals, not just sales associates in store. And so they're able to really discuss treatment options specific to them and really take a really holistic look at all of their health and wellness goals. And there's just a nice visual of what it looks like inside as you enter and come to hang out and receive those services. And so moving along, we have our next strategy that we're calling membership access. And so here we're kind of getting a bit into loyalty, subscription, and we're looking at how brand loyalty is becoming a bit more elusive. We're seeing retailers recognize this real urgency to deepen their relationships with customers. And for innovative brands, we're seeing them create membership models that really tap into insider culture. And that's really just become a key strategy when leveling up engagement. And so looking at everything from by appointment to invite only, paid subscription, all of these ideas, right? So brands are using these to provide consumers with very unique experiences. They're accessing exclusive benefits through that. And at the same time, they're really cultivating this long-term conversation that goes beyond that initial purchase. So here to support this idea of membership access, we're looking at this luxury accessories club by Vrel. They are located in Manhattan's Nomad District, and they've opened a members only showroom that serves as a members lounge. So this began in the summer of 2022. The spot acts as an extension of members' closets, as well as offering them a place to spend their time, whether that be relaxing and socializing with their friends, or other members. There is a coffee break area. There are cocktails to be had as well. There's complimentary Wi-Fi available throughout the lounge if you want to use this as a co-working spot. And the club also has plans to integrate very exclusive member programs, such as workout classes, guest celebrity trainers, retail activations, social events, and all of this would be included with the brand's Perks Partners model. So an interesting take on bringing memberships to life in physical spaces.
Yeah, very interesting.
And so next up, we have this strategy we're calling seamless in-store experience. And so here we're looking at how brands are deploying these very tech-supported solutions in their retail spaces. They're making in-store as seamless and frictionless as possible. And we're seeing how that in-store tech is complementing the brick-and-mortar experience. It's supporting the shopping journey. It's aligning with the needs of mobile-first and digital-savvy consumers. And it's really just making the end-to-end shopping experience smoother, more pleasurable, less clunky perhaps, and really just enhancing it rather than hindering it. And I think that's an important distinction when we talk about in-store tech today, right? And so here we're looking at a new concept actually from H&M. They have a unique store experience that has opened in Williamsburg, and it's tapping into retail tech as they showcase these new, what they're calling chapters of fashion, visuals, and experiential events that they're rotating every 4 to 12 weeks. And so when you visit this H&M as a shopper, you're going to encounter several different tech add-ons that have been added to enhance that shopping experience. One is they're using RFID tech to provide full visibility of the store's inventory and size options in real time. We know that's a very important and convenient measure for consumers to tap into. Another tech service is a mobile payment options are now available everywhere within the store. So there's that very fluid payment and checkout ability as well. And then the last thing is within the actual fitting rooms, they've outfitted each with smart mirrors that are able to identify product size and color, provide customers with styling recommendations based on what you've brought into the fitting room with you. And so according to H&M, these smart mirrors are using that RFID technology to gather information about what customer has brought in, and then the mirrors are collecting only product data. So an important disclaimer there.
Privacy privacy concerns, especially in the fitting rooms.
This is our last
onto the
one.
multi-sensory immersion. So, what we're saying are spaces that are kind of talking to the senses, whether it's audio, whether it's scent, whether it's vibration. We can see all these new experiences that are being developed and experimented with in New York City.
Yes. And I think one brand, we've talked about them before, but they keep one-upping themselves.
Coming back. Here comes Camp.
And so when we think about that very digital experience that has storytelling really seamlessly integrated into it, Camp is a great example. For those who may not know at this stage, Camp is an innovative, very family-oriented retailer, and they rotate experiences throughout its stores. And at its Fifth Avenue branch, the retailer is continuing right now its long-term partnership with Disney. And so at the close of 2022, their in-store story revolved around Encanto, the award-winning Disney movie. And so taking up over 6,000 square feet of space, Camp recreated the family's magical home in life size, as well as Antonio's rainforest, Isabella's flower-filled room, and then more as well. The area features, secret passages, there's surprise magic doors, there are interactive scenes as well. And then kind of tying this all together smartly, Camp's merchants have prepared very custom-made exclusive goods that were inspired by the movie that can only be found at Camp. And so this is going to continue within that Fifth Ave store until February. So this upcoming month right now. And then the experience is going to move to other camp store locations. And so just to quickly recap again, these were the 12 major trends that we just presented to you. Again, a lot of community themes, hospitality, services, flexibility, and then very much so a lot of immersion and storytelling here throughout these trends and examples. So yes.
Thank you, Lauren. That was really interesting. This presentation is available to anybody who's watching live. The link is in the chat, and the full report, which I think is about 70 or 80 pages, with dozens of examples, deep maps, deep dive into DTC retail, is available for IQ members or to purchase on psfk.com. Check it out for sure. And if you like videos like this and you like content and inspiration, do subscribe to our channel so that you can get notified every time we put a new webinar up. But thank you, Lauren. Appreciate you being part of this again. And thanks to everybody who came along today to watch the video. I'll see you next time.